Hey everyone, yes, you heard that right. A $2,950 direct deposit is hitting some Social Security recipients' accounts, and if you don't check your eligibility now, you might miss out completely. The Social Security Administration just announced this targeted economic relief payment, and it's already being deposited into accounts as we speak, some even showing up at midnight. This isn't just another internet rumor, this is real money that could help with rising costs, medication expenses, or whatever bills you're facing right now. And if you're one of the millions of Americans receiving Social Security benefits, you need to know if you qualify and what steps to take before the deadline. In today's video, I'll break down exactly who qualifies for this payment, how to check your eligibility, the important deadlines you need to know, and what to do if you haven't received your deposit yet. Let's start with what we know for certain. Last week, the Social Security Administration announced a supplemental economic adjustment payment of $2,950 for specific beneficiaries. This isn't technically a stimulus in the traditional sense, it's more of a targeted economic adjustment payment designed to help those most affected by recent inflation and economic pressures. Now, I want to be completely clear, this is separate from your regular monthly Social Security payment and different from the annual COLA, cost of living adjustment, that was announced last fall. This is an additional one-time payment that's being distributed right now to eligible recipients. The SSA has been surprisingly quick with this rollout. The announcement came just 10 days ago, but they've already begun processing payments. Unlike previous economic relief programs that took months to implement, they're moving fast on this one, which is why you need to pay attention now. According to the official announcement, these payments are being distributed in batches based on the last digit of your Social Security number, similar to how they handled previous special payments. The first wave of deposits began hitting accounts over the weekend, with many recipients reporting notifications of pending deposits set to clear at midnight. So who exactly qualifies for this $2,950 payment? The eligibility requirements are specific and targeted toward those who need it most. Here's what you need to know. First, you must be a current Social Security beneficiary. This includes retirement benefits, disability benefits, SSDI, and supplemental security income, SSI. However, and this is important, not everyone receiving these benefits will automatically qualify. Second, your total annual income from 2023 must fall below certain thresholds. For individuals, your adjusted gross income needs to be under $75,000. For married couples filing jointly, that threshold is $150,000. And for head of household filers, the cutoff is $112,500. Third, and this is where many people might get confused, you need to have experienced what the SSA is calling qualifying economic hardship during the past year. What does that mean exactly? According to the SSA guidelines, this includes medical expenses that exceeded 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, loss of housing or risk of housing instability, essential home repairs exceeding $1,000 that weren't covered by insurance, utility bills that were more than 60 days past due at any point in 2023, or documented costs related to natural disasters or severe weather events. You'll need to be able to demonstrate at least one of these hardship factors if you're asked to verify your eligibility later. Fourth, you must have been receiving Social Security benefits for at least 3 consecutive months prior to April 2025. This means new beneficiaries who just started receiving payments in February or March might not qualify for this specific economic adjustment. The most important thing to understand about this payment is that while some recipients will receive it automatically based on information the SSA already has on file, many others will need to take action to claim it. Don't assume you'll automatically get this money, you might need to verify your eligibility or provide additional information. Now let's talk about what you need to do right now. The first step is to check your eligibility status through one of 3 methods. Option 1. Log into your My Social Security account online at ssa.gov/myaccount. If you don't already have an account, now is definitely the time to set one up. Once logged in, look for a notification about the economic adjustment payment. They've added a special section just for this. Option 2. Call the SSA's dedicated Economic Adjustment Payment Hotline at 1-800-772-1213. Be prepared for wait times, especially now that word about these payments is spreading. The best times to call are typically early morning, right when they open, or later in the week. Option 3. Visit your local Social Security office in person. This might be the best option if you're having trouble with the online system or phone lines. Just make sure to bring identification and any documentation related to economic hardship you experienced last year. When checking your eligibility, you'll see one of 4 status messages. Payment scheduled with a specific date when your $2,950 will be deposited. Additional information required, meaning you need to provide documentation about your economic hardship. Under review, meaning the SSA is still determining your eligibility. Not eligible with a specific reason why you don't qualify. If your status shows additional information required, don't panic but do act quickly. You'll need to submit documentation supporting your claim of economic hardship. This could include medical bills, past due utility notices, home repair receipts, or documentation of housing instability. The SSA has set up a secure document upload system through the My Social Security portal, or you can mail copies, never originals, to your local office. Make sure any documents you submit include your full name and Social Security number. Now, let's talk about the critical deadlines you need to know. The SSA is releasing these payments in waves based on the last digit of your Social Security number. If your number ends in 01, payments began processing May 10th, last Friday. If your number ends in 23, payments begin processing May 17th. If your number ends in 45, payments begin processing May 24th. If your number ends in 67, payments begin processing May 31st. If your number ends in 89, payments begin processing June 7th. But here's the critical deadline everyone needs to know. If you're required to submit additional documentation to prove economic hardship, you must do so by July 15th, 2025. After that date, even if you would otherwise qualify, you may forfeit eligibility for this payment. For direct deposits, funds should appear in your account within 1-3 business days after your scheduled processing date. For those who receive paper checks, allow 7-10 business days for mail delivery. If your payment doesn't arrive within these time frames, don't immediately assume something's wrong. The SSA has noted that some payments may take longer to process due to verification procedures. However, if it's been more than 2 weeks since your scheduled date, that's when you should contact them. For those who need to submit documentation, the verification process typically takes 10-14 business days. Once approved, your payment will be issued in the next available payment cycle. Let's talk about what you can use this money for. Unlike some previous government assistance programs, there are no restrictions on how you can spend this $2,950. It's designed to provide economic relief in whatever way makes the most sense for your situation. Based on my conversations with financial advisors, here are some smart ways people are planning to use this money. Catching up on medical bills or prescriptions that may have been put off, making necessary home repairs before they become more expensive problems, paying down high-interest debt that's been accumulating, building an emergency fund if you don't have one, covering rising grocery and utility costs that have been straining budgets. One important note, this payment is classified as a disaster relief payment under IRS guidelines, which means it should not be counted as taxable income for federal tax purposes. However, I always recommend consulting with a tax professional about your specific situation. Also worth mentioning, this payment should not affect your eligibility for other benefits like SNAP, food stamps, Medicaid, or housing assistance. The SSA has specifically designated this as excluded income for means-tested benefit programs. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This $2,950 payment comes at a time when many Social Security recipients are feeling the squeeze from inflation. While the 2024 COLA adjustment was 3.2%, many seniors report that their actual expenses have increased by much more. Some financial experts are viewing this targeted payment as an acknowledgement that the standard COLA formula isn't fully capturing the economic reality for many seniors and disabled Americans. The focus on demonstrable economic hardship represents a shift in how supplemental assistance is being distributed, moving away from universal payments to more targeted relief. There are, of course, different perspectives on this approach. Advocates argue that targeting the payments to those who can demonstrate specific hardships ensures the money goes where it's most needed and makes the program more fiscally responsible. Critics, however, point out that the documentation requirements might create barriers for vulnerable populations who qualify but may have difficulty navigating the verification process. I've been watching the political reaction to this program closely. While there's been surprising bipartisan support for the concept of targeted economic relief for vulnerable Social Security recipients, there has been debate about the implementation timeline and verification requirements. Some lawmakers have called for extending the documentation deadline beyond July 15th, arguing that seniors and disabled individuals may need more time to gather the necessary paperwork. The Social Security Administration has defended their current timeline, stating that the urgency of economic needs requires quick distribution, while also acknowledging they may consider extensions if significant issues arise during the rollout. From my perspective, what's most important is that eligible recipients don't miss out due to confusion or lack of information. The SSA estimates that approximately 18 million beneficiaries may qualify for this payment, but historically, similar programs have seen participation rates of only 80–85% of eligible recipients. That means millions of people who qualify might miss out simply because they don't know about the program or don't understand how to verify their eligibility. So let's wrap this up with the key points you need to remember. The $2,950 Social Security Economic Adjustment Payment is real and being distributed right now, but not everyone automatically qualifies. You need to meet specific income thresholds and have experienced qualifying economic hardship in 2023. Check your eligibility immediately through your My Social Security account, by phone, or in person at your local SSA office. Don't assume you'll automatically receive the payment. You may need to provide documentation. If you're required to submit additional information to prove economic hardship, you absolutely must do so by July 15th, 2025, or you could forfeit your eligibility entirely. Payments are being distributed in waves based on the last digit of your Social Security number, with the first payments already hitting accounts and the final wave beginning June 7th. This payment won't affect your eligibility for other benefits, and should not be counted as taxable income for federal tax purposes. That's what we know right now about this important economic relief payment. As always, I'll be monitoring this situation closely and will update you if anything changes with the program requirements or deadlines. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more updates on government benefits, financial assistance programs, and economic news that affects real people. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and don't forget to check your eligibility for this payment before it's too late.